So if we look at question number 2, we see that angle E and angle F are complementary. Okay, so that means angle E plus angle F equals 90 degrees. And we're told that the measure of angle E is 54 degrees more than the measure of angle F. Now, we have no idea what the measure of angle F is. So anytime we're in math where we don't know the value of something, we give it a variable. Of course, the most common variable is x. So if I say angle F has a measure of x, I can then therefore write an expression for angle E based on the fact that it's 54 degrees more than angle F. Okay, well, 54 degrees more is plus 54. And we just said that the measure of angle F represents x. So angle E, we can write x plus 54, because then that represents 54 more degrees than angle F, which happens to be x as well. Okay, so by writing x plus 54, I have written the measure of angle E in terms of angle F. Okay, and of course they both add to 90. So then all we have is a simple algebra problem. So combine my x's. So x plus x is 2x plus 54 equals 90. Subtract 54 from both sides, and I get 2x equals 36. And then to solve for x, I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So x equals 18. Okay, so if you remember, we gave angle F. We said angle F was going to represent x. So angle F does equal 18 degrees. To find angle E was x plus 54, or 54 more degrees than angle F. So 18 plus 54, because that is the measure of angle F, that is going to be 72 degrees. So that is how we can solve for complementary angles. This particular unit, we are solving for different angle measures and looking at different angle relationships. Here are 4 keywords that are extremely important to know when you're provided with a problem. Okay, so complementary, okay, is 2 angles that add to 90 degrees. Okay, so if two angles add to 90 degrees, they are considered complementary. And our image always has that box in the corner that lets me know that it's 90 degrees. But by definition, complementary angles equal 90. The same is true for perpendicular rays or lines. Okay. Perpendicular rays or lines also create 90-degree angles. And because lines have a total of 180 degrees, all the four intersecting angles will also equal 90 degrees. Okay. So anytime you see complementary or perpendicular, the angles add to 90. Now supplement or supplementary, okay, those two angles form a straight angle or a straight line, and those add to 180 degrees. And then lastly, bisect. Okay, bisect means to cut in half. And when we cut any angle in half, we create two smaller congruent angles. Okay, now if you're struggling with trying to remember the difference between complementary and supplementary, a couple ways you can remember that. The C in complementary, if I close the C, I get a 9 for 90. And the S in supplementary, if I close that S, I get an 8 for 180. Okay, so all of our angles are either equal to each other or congruent, add to 90 degrees, or add to 180 degrees. Those are the only three types of angles that we've talked about in this particular unit. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let's look at a couple of examples of how we can solve these particular types